All right, a very good afternoon, everybody. My name is Daniel Koh, and together with me are my group members Kevin, Sean, Benny, and of course Jane. So today we'll be presenting to you guys about our churn analysis report, and I'll be doing the introduction. So first of all, we have the summary. So basically, Singtel is a local telecommunications company that provides mobile, internet, TV, and fixed line telephony services. And as of now, Singtel is facing problems where numbers of customers leaving and subscribing to its rival companies are increasing at a very worrying rate, and so the company needs to analyze and study the customers that are leaving. So that is where we step in as analyzers. So as a group, we have conducted data mining and used advanced analytics to predict who are the people that are likely to unsubscribe from Singtel and the reasons for the churn. And on top of that, we will also be providing recommendations on the ways where Singtel can improve and make more sales, and also in the hope of getting their customers back. So a little bit of touch and go for the data used for analysis. So we have used the data that was provided to us, and yeah, we have customer ID, gender, senior citizen, tenure, mobile service, internet service, TV service, online security, device protection, tech support, contract, monthly charges, total charges, and churn. Alright, so for the business understanding, as mentioned earlier on, our business problem is the number of customers leaving and subscribing to Singtel's competitors. And is it predicted that in the near future, there are more people likely to leave and stop using Singtel services, which could cause Singtel to suffer a loss? And for our business objective, there is a need for us to understand the customer's information that was obtained for analysis, and then we should prepare the data and mine them to filter out the people who have left and stop using Singtel services, and also predict who are the people that are likely to stop using Singtel services in the near future. So with the findings and analysis, we can then give our recommendations according to what we find, and the sales and marketing director will implement to improve and reduce customer churn in the near future for Singtel. With that, I shall pass on my time to Kevin Lu.
Hi, my name is Kevin. I'm going to be talking about data understanding. So as you can see, there's two diagrams over here shown. So the first picture over here is to just show the import of the data set from the Excel into RapidMiner. So for this, we use the read Excel operator. So as the data file contained more than 5,000 entries, we were unable to drag it directly into the process. However, that's why we needed the read Excel operator, which allows RapidMiner to open data sets with more entries. So after importing the dataset into RapidMiner, we use the store operator, which is over here, to save the data into the repository while we work on other processes, we can conveniently retrieve the dataset by dragging the data folder, it being the retrieve Singtel data. So once we opened it up, as you can see from the second picture, it shows all the different types of attributes and data. So there were 4 different issues that we found out with the dataset. So the first issue was that there were missing values in tenure and total charges column, which affect the data quality during the data mining and analysis. Obviously, yeah. Okay, so the next issue was that under the senior citizen column, the data stated was 0 and 1, but should be either a yes or no data answer instead, as to define whether the customer is a senior citizen, as you can see over here. Okay, then the third issue is that we identified was that the total charges were calculated inaccurately due to the missing values in tenure, as you can see over here as well. Yeah, there are zeros. And lastly, the fourth issue, and the last issue that we identified was there was inconsistent entries of data in TV services, online security, device protection, and tech support. The entry no internet service represents the same entry as no, therefore potentially making the data confusing and thus causing the data to be complicated to read and understand, as you can see from here in this diagram. So to further elaborate, I'm going to be passing my time on to Benny, which is going to be talking about data preparation.
Okay, so now I'll be talking about the data preparation before we carry out the decision tree model. So we imported the raw data of the Singtel customers' information. So as said before, there were some errors of missing values. So we what we did was we used the add filters operator to set that the tenor and total charges had no filter off the missing values. Yeah. After that, we created a sub process operator to classify all the replace operators. So the first operator used was like the senior citizen data entry such that the data entry was 0 and 1. Now we replace the data entry of 0 for senior citizens to no and 1 to yes. And also for the inconsistent data entries from the different services, we changed the no internet service data entry to straightly no, cause the meaning is the same and we wanted to ensure the correct a consistent data entry of yes and no whether the customer does have the service or not. So the set row we labeled the churn cause we wanted to the targeted variable is set to be churn analysis for this project. So to correct with the total charges of the incorrect total charges calculation, we chose to generate a new attribute naming of total charges again and called tenure monthly charges, which the formula is the same. Then we selected attributes where we wanted to prepare the data for which entries we wanted to use. We did edited the total charges overall so that we wanted to use the raw data for prep. However, for the prediction analysis, we wanted to use the field and remove customer ID. So firstly, I'll just explain. We felt that customer ID was not was not a good predictor as it only identified the customer for the churn analysis, which is irrelevant and does not affect on why customers churn. Another one is gender, as it is felt that Singtel services is more of a services which cater for the general public. So regardless of whether you are a male or female, it is unlikely a good reason of why the customer would tend to churn. The other attributes we removed were the total charges because when a customer looks at the plan of or services he wishes to buy in for Singtel, it is likely that the customer would tend to focus more on the monthly charges compared to total charges. So after the data was prepped, it was stored into a new repository called Singtel Prep. Yeah, so this is how the new data looks like, which is ready for model. As can be seen and proven, there are no missing values and the data entry is consistent of yes no only. The senior citizens entry is also set to yes or no, and yeah, so as can be seen the data is ready and prepared for modeling. So now I'll pass the time on to Sean to talk more about the data modeling process.
Okay, hi, my name is Sean, and for this part of the project, data modeling, we split the data based on our research, and we decided to use the 70%, 30% for the data split because normally 70% of the available data is allocated for training as it is a popular and effective value. The remaining 30% of the data are equally partitioned and used to test the data sets itself. Partitioning ratio is an important aspect but apart from this, one must ensure that the population statistics of these data sets are marginally different from that of the overall data. Hence, we have ensured that the training dataset should include all possible patterns used for defining problem and should extend to the age of the modeling domain. On top of that, we also use the decision tree as a predictive operator into the process model. Hence, upon running the process, we managed to obtain an accuracy score of 76.29%, which is evident in the picture shown in the evaluation stage. But before that, take a look at the RapidMiner and see how the process is run. So basically, first we retrieve the data that is prepped, and then we split the data accordingly to 70% is used for training and 30% is used for testing. Then after that, we set the decision tree up and use the criterion to set it to accuracy and change the minimal gain to 0.03, and then we applied the model, and then after that finally we evaluate the performance. And when we run the process, as you can see, the accuracy is 76.29%. And yeah, okay, so moving on to the evaluation part. So after we run the process and achieve the accuracy of 76.29%, we then have a confusion matrix table. And so how do we read this table? So basically it was predicted that for 1485 examples were loyal, which were true, and 56 examples were predicted churn but were false. And in the next column, for the true churns, it was predicted that 442 examples were loyal but were false, and only 117 examples were predicted churn and was true. So in total, we were able to capture 96.37% accuracy for the loyal cases, and for the true churn cases, it was predicted the accuracy of the prediction was 20.93%. So in summary, a total of 1602 examples were accurately predicted, and I get this number by adding this number and this number, as they were the accurate predictions, and we got a percentage of 76.29% out of all the 2100 predictions. The predictions for the churn was 67.63% precise, while the predictions for the loyal was 77.06%. So a confusion matrix is a table that is often used to describe the performance of a classification model or classifier on a set of data for which the true values are known. So as you can see, this is the performance vector and this is the confusion matrix. So next, we have chosen to use these three attributes for our churn analysis using the select attribute operator. So the three attributes will be contract, device protection, and monthly charges. And we wanted to find out whether the device protection services could be the cause for customers leaving Singtel. And so I'll pass on my time to Jane to talk to you more about it.
So now we're going to analyze our decision tree and see what we find. So as you can see, for device protection, customers who have device protection but their monthly charges exceed $97, they will actually have a tendency to churn. And also, even if they do not have a device protection and their monthly charges exceed $69, they will also have a tendency to churn. So you can kind of tell that the device protection is not a very strong factor in affecting whether a customer loyalty stays with Singtel or not. So the main factor, as you can see, would be the monthly charges as to how much, if it's too much, customers will get turned off by the contracts that are being sold. So for our recommendations, what we recommend is that adjustments should be made in terms of what would be in a contract plan for Singtel offers. However, the price of a contract should remain the same, so Singtel won't make any losses. So Singtel can actually offer better promotions such as discounted prices for the services offered when a customer signs up for a contract. So in addition to these recommendations, Singtel can actually implement a 1-year warranty plan into their contracts. So this is to implement the device protection. So however, the warranty should only cover for accidental damage, loss, or theft. Because if you don't have these conditions, the loss would be very great for Singtel. So this will actually have a positive impact on the loyalty of Singtel's customers, and actually promotion packages can also be introduced to target the different types of audience, the customers, such as teenagers, packages, and as such. So moving on to conclusion.
So yes, in conclusion, Singtel is expected to lose more customers based on the churn analysis and calculations. Thus, they need to implement better promotions to further help this. So factors such as device protection and monthly charges also have to be implemented to further prevent the loss of customers, as it is a key factor whether a customer stays loyal to the company or not. So yes, with that we end off our presentation. Thank you.